All right, I'd like to call this, let's say, is it August 7th, Park Board meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Marquardt?
Here.
Ms. Brannon? Here. Mr. Justice?
Here.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Here.
Rivera is absent. Mr. Eldridge is here. Mrs. Ray? Here. Mr. Weisman is here. And I am here.
Okay. We'll start with the consent agenda. Number 1 is minutes from the July meeting. Number 2 is claims. Parks and Rec General Fund, $9,923.65. Park Impact Fee Fund, $108,674.27. Parks and Rec Non-Reverting Fund, $1,675.54. Clubhouse Non-Reverting Fund, $3,397.35. Total expenditures of $123,670.81. Donations, Faith Church donated 2 tickets to the annual Global Leadership Summit. Vito's donated $122.30 worth of Italian Ice for the senior picnic. And Cedar Lake Kitchen donated 10 $10 gift certificates for senior bingo prizes. Thanks for all the donations over the past month. Any discussion on the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion by Mr. Marquardt, second by Ms. Brannon. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Marquardt?
Yes.
Ms. Brannon?
Yes.
Mr. Justice?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries 4-0. Item number 1 under old business is Founder's Creek Trail. I don't know if we want to, if there's an update on that from town council.
Actually, on Tuesday's town council meeting, this was a subject, and maybe, Nick, do you mind speaking on this, giving the board a little bit of an update?
Yeah, sure, if I could, thank you. So, it's my understanding that you guys have one final parcel left to acquire before all the parcels that you need are acquired. And I talked with the town attorney about this, and there's been multiple attempts to reach out to this property owner to see if they're willing to sell a piece of that property. Nothing has come to fruition on it, and there's even been council members that have contacted this individual. So I will tell you that the council is not, I wouldn't say we're not big, we never consider eminent domain for anything. I know that's usually the end result when these things happen. I was hoping Attorney Austin was going to be here tonight to help us come up with a plan to acquire that parcel without taking somebody's parcel, because that's the last thing we want to do. But according to Attorney Austin Tuesday, as Mindy said, we had the meeting, and it didn't look like you guys could proceed with this until that final parcel is acquired. So we have some more work to do on our end to see if we can get a hold of this gentleman one way, shape, or form so that you guys can get moving along on this.
Refresh my memory on this, but didn't the attorney say that he was able to acquire that piece now?
No, I inquired about that because I was suspicious of a neighbor who had come in asking about property being sold near him. The final conclusion of that conversation was that Mr. Austin did respond back and say that he has not had any further action.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I was under the same impression.
Yeah.
I thought that
I was
somebody
too.
had said that they sold the property and they were going to...
You're right, that it was acquired, or
Yeah,
being acquired.
that it was available.
Yes,
No.
yes, I did update you on that,
Okay.
but that was what made us suspicious that maybe the 6th parcel had been obtained. And I reached out to the attorney's office to get further information to find out that it had not been obtained.
That's a little setback for us again.
I do.
It's been going on since a long time we've been trying, like,
Yeah.
like I said, yeah.
And obviously, you guys need our help with this to get this moving along, so we're gonna keep it on the hot plate, and I'll get in touch with Attorney Austin again and see what other next steps we can do. I mean, to be honest with you, I know in times past, if there was a drainage project, stormwater project, and there was property that was needed, the eminent domain process began by a letter, and a lot of times that would wake somebody up. We just don't like to be, that's just not our philosophy right now, but everything is, we're looking at all options right now to see what we can do to get this moving along, because right now you guys are at a standstill, and we don't like to see it.
Yeah, we can't let that money sit forever, because eventually, it's gonna go bye-bye. You know, they'll take it away if we don't use it.
Yeah.
And I think the last meeting that Attorney Austin was here for, we went through this whole song and dance, just like we're doing today, and that was 4 or 5 months ago.
And they, at that point, David had reached out to them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and said that he had not made any headway. They attempted several times. So I guess my question becomes, at what point do we say enough is enough?
Well, that would be, I guess, a decision of the council, my understanding. That would be when eminent domain proceedings would follow.
And so do we have to do something to pursue this with the council? Do we need to, is there something we need to present to them to say, hey, can you guys, get moving on this?
I'm not sure, without being an attorney, to be honest with you. But I know that you guys want to get moving on with it, and I know time is of the essence, so I'll make sure that I have some communication with Attorney Austin again tomorrow and relay the sentiment of the Parks Board and let them know, hey, they want to get moving on this. What options do we have? Lay it all out there for us.
Is this a vacant piece of property, or is there a dwelling?
My understanding, and don't set it in stone, I thought it was a homestead, and I thought it was a sliver of that homestead that needed to be acquired.
Yeah, I don't think it's a large piece of property, and I don't think it covers,
And didn't we discuss the fact that it's not buildable, the property? Isn't it kind of swampy type?
I think so, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I mean, my biggest concern is that, this grant is for what, almost $500,000?
Great.
And so, that's what we'd be giving up if we can't proceed.
Correct.
You know?
What kind of time frame do you guys have?
Well, it's dictated by the NERC grant, right?
Yeah, so the preliminary engineering is to begin at this time. That's why we made the recommendation. I executed your recommendation from our last part board meeting to town council in memo form, asking for this to come up as a discussion item, just to get the traction, because really the recommendation was to begin the preliminary engineering. Project was to finish completion in 2028, I believe. And because it's a town initiative, and I really don't have any control over the project except for just trying to work with the members of the town.
So what was the result of the engineering question?
That was where they got to on Tuesday's meeting, where Attorney Austin updated them that the 6th parcel had not been obtained.
So we're saying do not proceed because that parcel has not been obtained.
I
think I had asked him that, and he said you couldn't proceed, if I'm not mistaken.
He said that you're at a standstill until that parcel is obtained.
Okay, well, you know the problem then. We need to get it. Otherwise, we're in a trash can.
Yeah, I
$1 million.
Absolutely.
So as far as like the percentage of land that we're talking about here compared to the whole project, it's probably
Sliver.
a tiny portion. And engineering can't proceed with the rest of the project until, and that can be happening at the same time? I mean, these need to be working in
Ben
conjunction.
asked that question, didn't he?
Yeah, that was asked on Tuesday night, because we're doing that with the sidewalk project from the roundabout all the way here. We're breaking it down in phases, so it might be feasible to do that.
Yeah, because the town manager did ask that question in the council meeting, like, okay, well, if we can't get that, can we just start to get to this phase? At least it's got this part done of it. So I believe that we just need to work internally a little bit
Yeah.
more, and I'll report back to you on next steps, but it's not falling off the radar. I know this is a park board initiative. I know that this sits in the park master plan that was recently adopted. I know that this is one of the higher incentives of the board, or higher priority projects of the park board. So I'll continue to work with the town council.
So theoretically then, could like next town board meeting, we say, can we proceed in conjunction? I mean, is that something we could address at the next meeting, and what do we have to do to get to that point?
Well, without the attorney here, unfortunately, Mr. Justice, I can't answer that, but I will make sure that tomorrow I call Attorney Austin, and, you know, we'll talk about breaking this project down, first phase, second phase, third phase, whatever it is, and try to get to that point where we can acquire that land, and also, what do we do to finally get this person to respond to us? So unfortunately, I can't answer how that'll all work out, but I will make sure I'm on the horn tomorrow with Dave.
Sure. I guess, my only concern is how do we make sure that we are moving forward? I guess, I hate to just drop it in your lap and say, hey,
Well,
make this happen. Is that pretty much it?
Pretty much, yeah, it's probably my job, or our job as council, so
Okay.
I don't feel bad about it.
No, I just didn't know if we needed to do something formally, send a letter to the town board or something like that. That was my question.
Yeah, that happened. So
Okay.
that happened last month.
Goodness.
Oh, yeah, to get it here.
Yeah. No, this is,
Sorry, guys.
This is,
I hate looking at the agenda and saying
East of Morris.
I know.
With you there.
That's the hard part.
Could we do something based
It's been
on,
going for you guys. I mean, it's been going for a while. It's always this one piece.
So then, has there been any update from, the clerk treasurer, and did she attend the NERC grant meeting? Did you get us an update, Mindy?
I believe that just recently happened, but I have not had a chance to correspond with her,
Alright,
to see any of those updates.
it'd be good to get, like, even if she's not able, even between our next meeting, if she can just get us a summary of that meeting.
Absolutely. I will ask her, to email you and the board and give you any summary that she has on that last NERC meeting that she attended. I do know she's going to conference next week.
Okay.
So, but I will.
could we make a motion to, based on what the attorney says about doing it in phases, that it could be contingent upon the attorney's information about being contingent, that we proceed with getting the engineering done,
Well,
contingent upon,
town
if we could do
council-
this in phases.
town council will be the one to take that action.
Okay.
So, I guess,
So we don't have to make any formal request of them?
I guess
That's my question.
our recommendation remains the same, that we just want preliminary engineering to begin, if it can begin, and we're still going to fund it.
Yeah, and that was the gist of my question, right, Mindy? I just basically asked, I know you guys were considering this tonight, can you proceed with it? And his answer was no, right?
He can't move forward until that parcel is then obtained.
Yeah. So when I get these answers for you guys, how do you want me to correspond with the board, Mindy? Mindy? Okay. Sounds good. I will do that.
It'll get to us.
Okay.
Also, I wanted to note that the actual project was funded, at $1,495,000.
It's a 50% match.
It's the 80/20.
Oh, 80.
20 Rs.
Okay. So it's 800,
Right.
800,000
That would be missing, yeah.
that we'd be missing, yeah.
I'm sure there's another pot we could get it from, right?
Let me know if you find it. We could use it.
We might just detour around that space, I mean,
Is
there's
that an eco-restoration project?
some of it
Bridge
is.
over it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'd solicit a motion to defer this, unfortunately, to the next meeting.
I'll make a motion to defer.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Mr. Marquardt. Motion by Mr. Marquardt, second by Mr. Justice. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Markort,
Yes.
Ms. Brannon,
Yes.
Mr. Justice,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes, motion carries 4-0. Item number 2 under old business, park maintenance shop. anything new on this item?
Just as my superintendent report had stated that I was working on getting you preliminary costs for engineering on the project, we realized that that was next steps. I don't have those to provide to you yet, but I've been in contact with both engineering firms, and as soon as they arrive, I will give you further updates.
Okay. Any further discussion on this item? Is there a motion to defer this item to the next meeting?
I'll make a motion to defer.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Mr. Marquardt, second by Ms. Brandon. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Markort?
Yes.
Ms. Brandon?
Yes.
Mr. Justice?
Yes, grudgingly.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries 4-0. Item number 3 under old business, park maintenance truck. So I think we're still sitting at the same quote that we looked at last meeting that was deferred. Is there anything new to report here, or are we just still looking at the same invoice?
You were also provided 2 new quotes for
Okay.
the heavy Super Duty trucks. 3 of them through the group that Officer Doug had recommended to go and look at. Josh did get those quotes for you. They are provided from John Jones group. Those 3 are in your meeting materials for reference of what those heavy-duty trucks would cost working with that group.
Okay, I have something here that I'd like you to look at if you want to pass these to Dave and Greg. I don't know that Dave has ever seen last year's budget. That's what's on top. And I had highlighted for you this account number that ends in 446, the vehicles. Last year there was $50,000 in that account, and we bought a Jeep last year for it. And then the next sheet, I don't think anybody's seen this. This is this year's budget. And if you look for the 446 on this year's budget, there is no 446. There was no plan for a vehicle this year, and there was none budgeted for. And I recommend that we defer a new truck until there's something in the budget. And I know Mindy's been working on the 2026 budget, and is there gonna be a line item in there for vehicles?
May I explain that a little further? The reason, we have an equipment line item. It's just a catch-all for equipment. Whatever that would be, trucks or mowers or tractors or trailers that would be needed. When we went to look at the 2026 budget, we had pretty much felt that we were established as far as our vehicle inventory. So we said, well, we don't need to have that certain appropriation sitting in that budget anymore. The equipment would take care of it. Actually, your capital line item 449 would also be an appropriation that you could pull for a purchase of a vehicle.
But if we were planning for a vehicle, wouldn't you have left that 446 in and, you know?
That's why we have the equipment line item there. We just don't know, like, we're growing, we're getting new duties, we're bringing in more staff, we're assuming more responsibilities and roles, and so although it wasn't a plan to buy a pickup truck, it was identified as a need as we've grown
Well,
and acquired more
two-thirds
responsibilities.
of the year is over with, and we're working with the same equipment that we did last year, and the same amount of people, and I'm saying that in 4 months' time, there, you know, could be an appropriation made for, in 2026, for a new vehicle.
Maybe Josh could further explain the daily duties and how the hiccup is with only occupying 2 work trucks. If you'd like for that, I think he might be able to.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So the capital out, the 449, that's not earmarked for anything, correct?
That's for capital projects or capital purchases.
Okay, and we don't have anything planned at this point.
The board and I have not sat down to do end of year discussion of what we're identifying those for.
So potentially, we could spend it somewhere else.
Yeah. You could spend this from your equipment line item, you could spend it from your capital, there is a way. And I guess, how do I want to explain this? Public Works may be chugging along, and then, maybe this comes before Nick often, they're chugging along, and then all of a sudden that piece of equipment breaks, and they've repaired it for the 100th time, and it's just not gonna work, and they identify mid-year that a piece of equipment is needed. They go look at the budget, whatever sits within that budget, how do they make it happen to purchase that next piece of equipment? So I think, you know, these things do happen, even though you do try to budget and plan for them.
Well, I know one of the board members mentioned staggering purchases so that, you know, all the trucks wouldn't be in need of being replaced at a single time.
So right now, what are the ages of the trucks we have?
It's, we got two 23s,
2023s?
right, and then our tractor, I mean, that's from 96, and then our two mowers are from 2023. Again, we started as a new department, so obviously this is your starting point. A couple of things I would like the board to consider, kind of some daily duties that we are doing. So like, currently about water projects are about 3 hours per day. That takes one person to do, but we have two trucks. One goes out mowing, so that one truck, that's the watering duties. So now we can't start projects till 9 a.m. There's been multiple situations where I had to leave for a meeting, issue with the team, or a park issue. I gotta leave equipment or people at the job site because we only have one truck for special projects. The other truck's for mowing, so we gotta leave stuff there. Also, when having two pieces of equipment for a job, I have to go to Public Works, pick up the Mini, pick up the skid steer. That's 2 trips back and forth that we gotta bring our tractor with. Again, that's wasting time there and wasting time back. Also, if a truck goes down, pretty much no special projects get done. We gotta mow, we gotta keep the maintenance up in the parks. That's 2 people, 1 truck. We're growing Parks Department with a bunch of new projects coming our way. I think this will be the first step to growing. I think next year it's going to affect the projects done this year, so that's why I feel like it was a need, and hope you guys make a decision.
I mean, if we take care of it this year, then it doesn't need to be planned for next year. We have 30,000 sitting in equipment. Capital out has 75,000. If we went with the Ram at James, that's about 7,500 out of the capital line item, over and above the equipment line item that's earmarked. So I don't know. This is the last time I'd like to see this on the agenda.
Well, I guess the discussion last time was, I get used truck or buy the new truck. The difference in the amount was $4,000 approximately, correct? I don't know, I don't remember.
I think it was right now.
I think the used truck was just under 30,000, and then if we bought an extended warranty, it was about 30.
The used truck is no longer there.
Okay.
It's gone. So that was checked by this morning.
It was about a $4,000 difference between a used
Yeah.
truck with a warranty or the brand new truck.
And so the feeling was the used truck was off the table right off the bat there, because for the money, it didn't make sense. So the question only becomes, do we...
And the original motion was for $30,000.
Right.
So yes, so basically we're just upping that 30,000 we went to.
To 37,500.
Correct. You know, I'm looking at the details of this new vehicle. Just the MSRP on it is $50,330. They have it marked out at $37,477. That is $13,000 off the sticker price, and it's a new truck. It's not used. It's 4-wheel drive. You know, I couldn't imagine spending 30,000 or 33,000 and not spending the extra 4,000 and getting brand new. And it is staggered. It's a 2-year newer truck. You know, it isn't, and we just bought the other two we've had done. So, all right,
So, I mean, this is new old stock, so even the year of the truck doesn't matter, it's a 25.
The warranty
purchase.
will take from purchase.
25 purchase, so
Right.
it's really a 3-year difference in use of truck. I mean, I gotta be honest with you, I know you're watching the pennies and you like to see it in the budget, I get that. But I think, you know, he's made a very good argument, and as long as we don't have that other money earmarked for something, you know, I don't wanna rob Peter to pay Paul, but, you know, the money has to be spent or we're gonna lose it anyway. So, you know, I have no issue with it. That's just my 2 cents.
Okay. Any other discussion, or is there a motion?
well, okay, I have to ask a question about the motion. Do I have to up that motion, or, because I know the 30,000 is already.
You would have to just make a motion to
Send
amend
me, okay,
the purchase to 37,500 if you want a motion to purchase this truck.
okay. I'd like to amend the truck purchase price to $37,477.
Okay, there's a motion by Greg,
I'll second the motion.
there's a second by Mr. Jostes. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Markort?
Yes,
Ms. Brandon?
Yes.
Mr. Justice?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries 4-0. Okay. All right, well, that was all of old business. Discussion item is the grant project. I believe this is the T-Mobile grant. Was there any updates on that?
Yeah, so we finally have been able to receive a price point on a shovel-ready project, which was proposed as a digital marquee to be placed on town grounds for multi-use purposes. The T-Mobile grant is a up to $50,000 award. I've worked with the company, received a quote, spoke with IT about our needs, recommendations have been made to the park board on it. The question that I have here, and I'm looking for direction from the park board, is of course we want to go for the grant, but if the grant is, if the project is coming in higher than what is funded for the grant, are we still going to move forward with the project? Being that we might not get funded at $50,000. We may get funded at $30,000. It's not a guaranteed $50,000 grant award. So is the project what you want to happen no matter what? Because if I move through those processes and we get to the point that we're awarded, we're kind of sitting in the same Founder's Creek situation of like, what do we do, what direction? And so I was just looking for some input from the board about, I have a September deadline for this grant cycle to go for it. And currently, right now, if we've got the $50,000 grant, we'd be $7,000 over to complete the project. That would be funded from the Parks Department budget.
So 7,000 short from the grant.
If we got the full
Right,
funding,
full
but if we
funding,
got
yep,
partial funding.
yep.
But at what point do you guys want to say, okay, we're gonna get 20 grand, we're not gonna go, we'll go without a digital marquee
Correct.
for the community.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I was just looking for that threshold to give me some direction of how we try to move that forward before I go into the process of finalizing the grant paperwork and submitting.
I mean, can the grant be applied for and received and then refused if it's, $25,000?
Or $5,000.
Well, I mean, at this point, we already know we're $7,000 over budget for what the grant would fund at 100%. If that's what you feel comfortable saying, like, yes, we'll find the $7,000 to make it happen, go for it, great. And then if anything else comes and we're partially funded, then we should, obviously, I'll bring it back to the board to make the decision if we're moving forward with it at that point. But we would then have to deny the grant.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want to make a motion on a certain number threshold if we don't know what that is yet.
Okay. But as it's
But-
presented now, are we okay with me moving forward and finding the additional $7,000 if the award was funded at the 50?
Yeah.
Is that
Okay with
juice worth
that.
the squeeze at this point?
All
All right, I just needed clarification before I,
But if
Yeah,
we're
we
only
just-
funding 10,000, that'd be a
We have
huge
to-
amount out of the budget.
I'll bring it back to you guys for that decision, and then we know what we have
We
to
would
work
have to
with.
vote on it, what's the threshold for,
You, I have over 3,000.
about 3,000, okay.
Mhm.
And then we can tweak the design of it before we
Yeah.
actually put up, because that 2 feet off the ground thing is just not,
Yeah, I have a problem with that too.
yeah, you see that snowplow going by and that snow is flying, you know?
It's pretty far from the road.
I know,
We're
okay.
proposed.
Well, they took all the trees out of a lot.
So do we know what the, I mean, are there thresholds they fund at? I mean, do they give you like, it can't be some odd number like 27,000 or something?
It's,
Or do we have any idea?
Up to $50,000 award.
Okay,
With
so
it.
that's it, that's the only guideline we have.
Right, so if you max fund it, and we're lucky enough, we can have a nice digital marquee. And it was for purposes not just of Parks and Recreation, but it was for townwide alerts. It would be for use, for that information to get out there, road closures, water main breaks, these kind of things, along with the Parks Department. So we had kind of a priority established of the use of it and how it would work, so.
Do we need, permission from the town council to put that on town ground property?
I did work with the town manager on the project when we identified the goal, and I did also work with the director of operations on the project as far as like the building codes and such that needed to happen.
They're not on the town council though,
Do
and
we need a formal something?
We don't even have the award yet. I guess I could propose
I
that.
mean,
Well, I think the only concern is, what if we get the award and then, you know, they decide they don't want to do it? It's kind of it's a slippery slope.
Okay.
Which comes first? the
Is
chicken or the
that
egg?
the true process, though, when moving forward with park projects on town grounds? Because we've been on a slippery slope with that. Is that always a permission of the council on pertaining to town grounds?
So I'm new to showing up to your guys' meetings, I watch them all, but we've had discussions before about how does this relationship work between you guys and us with this property here. And I know there's probably been some headway made over the past year and a half, I hope there has been, but I would get in touch with Ben, where you said you already talked with current town manager, and everything was given the A-OK on it, okay? I mean,
well, and then, we had a meeting with the town council back in February where it was put out there that the town grounds would be managed by the town council.
I think they basically said we're tenants.
Yes.
Yes.
but.
Now, as a tenant, I don't particularly like to invest my money in, the property owner's property, but
Understood. But I believe you guys, the board has been doing that, right?
Yes.
Yes. So me personally, I would like to get this arrangement all cleaned up for your sake, Mindy's sake, our sake. And I talked with you about this, Paul.
Yeah.
You know, since you became president, we need to get together again to get this all straightened out so you guys have a clear understanding of roles and responsibilities, and we do too. I'd like to do that. But as far as this particular item, I don't want to get in the weeds here, but as far as this particular item goes, if this stuff was cleared through the town manager, as Mindy said, he's our day-to-day guy, you know, so.
Okay.
Paul, you think she should proceed then and just?
Apply.
Well, I think if town manager's, involved with this, he would share any concerns with town council, but if you want to share the plan with town council also, just so they could see it.
Yeah, there was actually a couple of departments that were discussing opportunities going at the grant, and so we don't want to double fight each other over it, and then, we identified the digital sign as an option, and that, so yes, the involvement has been there on the administrative end on it all.
Okay. All right, good. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else that we really need to do. I think we'll just see if number one, if we even get the grant, number two, how much it comes in at, and then we can decide if it's too over budget for our comfortability, then we'll, discuss it at that time. Okay.
Thank you for that
Any other
direction.
discussion on the the grant project. Okay. Superintendent report?
You received my September, or we're on in September, my August superintendent report. In that, I am looking for further direction on the Meyer Manor bench and tree donation project. The tree we got figured out, but I'd like for some more direction on the proposed site plan to include the ADA accessibility to the donated bench. This is a project that's going to cost a little bit of money. It's not just putting a bench in the dirt to install. And so I was looking for your direction of if that is something that you would like for me to provide quotes to you for the concrete work. I believe that when I spoke with the foreman, the crew can't even get to this till about October, November and try to make it happen. But I would like to know so we can get the family's bench placed in the park, and that we create the ADA access to the bench space, as we should moving forward with our bench installation.
So the bench is being donated.
The bench is donated and has a
But where do you do the
rise.
infrastructure to make it ADA compliant?
We need about 4 yards of concrete. We need to cut a curb to be able to create access. We need to create a sidewalk, and we need to pour a certain width, which is proposed in the project to you via email.
It was 4 by 8, something like that.
Yeah, a pad that you can transfer from a wheelchair onto the bench. So those specs are outlined in that email as well. So it could be kind of pricey to finish moving forward with it.
Can't we just put the bench and the trash can there and leave it as just nice green space? There is concern that the neighbor does, back up over in that direction and, could end up backing up on the sidewalk or what have you.
Is this a project where we can at least get the bench installed and then phase in the sidewalk to the bench?
I just want to remind you that when we did the park master plan, that we signed the ADA accessibility quote that any project moving forward, we would try to fall within the rights of the ADA. So installing new amenities and such like that would be in that. In our best effort to install accessibility to amenities, were our pledge as on that. So I just want to make sure that we're trying our best.
I don't think we need to disrupt every green space in town to make it ADA compliant, which means putting, concrete and what have you in every park space. I don't see that as a necessity on my own to do what we can for the thing that we put over at Robin's Nest for had braille on it, isn't that as a different kind of accessibility and not necessarily every green space needs to be disrupted with concrete. That's my opinion. Other people might have different opinions on it.
I tend to, for this project specifically, I tend to agree. I don't know, we're getting the bench donated. I don't know if we want to spend probably more than the bench would have cost to make it ADA. we're
I'll
gonna,
take your direction
we're
on
gonna
that.
try
We can
to make
get that
everything,
taken care of and installed
ADA compliant when we
I
can.
would say, I would like to see it, and then at some point down the road, we could maybe have another concrete project going on and attach this to it, to make it ADA.
Just one thing to consider, pouring concrete and digging it out, putting the stone in, setting the form, so a little more just for the prep work also, just I don't have spare concrete, it's gotta be planned.
Mhm.
Do
That's
that.
just putting the bench in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would have just been discussed by the family that they would like to see it anchored, so it doesn't go anywhere other than the park
Can we
space.
get, can we
Absolutely.
So
we get a
we can
quote?
be
Yeah.
creative without the pad and the sidewalk and the
Yes.
ADA accessibility. I just wanted your direction before I did something and then
I think that would work.
there was an issue with ADA accessibility.
And it's been, I think, like $200 for the concrete at the rest of the benches that we've had anchored. That's about what the expense was for concrete to do that part of it, so it wasn't expensive.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you for the direction on that. Other than that, if there's any questions on my superintendent report, I'd be happy to answer those for you, but it was pretty pointed out, and, we're, chugging along here.
All right. Tom, are you gonna go over the rec coordinator report, or?
Just at this time, the rec coordinator report, Greg is hosting the coaches meeting tonight for the fall soccer coaches, so, I've asked him to go ahead and move forward with that and not be in attendance for the meeting this evening. But, his rec report is just outlining the programs, what he's currently working on, that the Agents of Discovery app, which I think is notable, that we had already had at the time of his report, that 154 people had played that on our first launch of it. So that was exciting news to see that, we're trying to find, ways to get those digital, children who are attached to devices and families out in our park spaces and enjoying it. If you haven't hopped on the Agents of Discovery app here on town grounds, there's a little history, and take the quiz and see what it's all about. Other than that, the Stay Fit and Active fitness class is rolling strong for us. Currently tonight is our last summer concert series happening in the park at 6:30. So, Lakeside Artist Guild is here on site for their last concert of the series.
We're gonna miss that one.
Did we have the last movie in the park?
Yes. Yep, we completed, and the great thing about the movie series is that was all completely donation. To make that happen, we have the support of the community, and,
How was the turnout for?
some days that were questionable weather, we had lower attendance, but, and I believe it's a good thing for the community, and they're coming out and enjoying it. We're even having community members come out and bring along other snacks to hand out to others there. So the families who are coming are really enjoying the opportunity, and it's a good thing to be bringing into the park system, especially because it's not affecting the general budget at all. It's 100% sponsored money to make it happen, so.
Great, okay. Maintenance report.
Yeah, so, I'd like to say that both gazebo sites are completely done and ready to go. We did our first concrete project, thanks to our, town director, Mr. Kubiak. He taught us a lot about concrete, and, project really happened with, him giving us a lot of direction, and it's a good teaching moment for us. I'd like to say that we are starting to get back into the parks. We've been doing a lot of special projects here. So we're finally going back to maintenance repairs on the playgrounds with our inspection coming due. We want to make sure everything's good and to go. We saw the new pet waste station at Lynn's Way. We had a new rock garden at Kiwanis Park. And that's about it. We're really going to be digging into playground equipment. Make sure everything's ready to go, everything's safe for everybody. We knocked down a bunch of trees at Potawatomi that were dead. That was a hazard. We took care of those, and we're really going to dive into those next month here.
The one that was taken down in the storm, it wasn't
Right.
the one that was in question from the property owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you, receive that, training for playground inspection?
He is not a certified playground inspector.
Okay, just wondering.
But at the conference, we do have Josh signed up to do playground maintenance. It was an additional course to go to at conference, an additional fee, but it was a whole, it's not going to make him a certified inspector, but it will give him playground maintenance knowledge.
So what has to happen to become a certified inspector?
It's a course. We actually sent one staff member right when we first arrived. We had one crew member come take the test, really scared to take the test, sent them away, and they actually did pass, and then employment was terminated, and we didn't have an inspector.
So who inspects them now? Do we have to, does somebody have to do
So
hired to do that?
we perform a monthly visual inspection as the department, a documented monthly visual. And then we hire, well, we don't hire, but our insurance Astra will provide us a annual inspection through our insurance company. And then that report is given to us, but we attend that with them always. And the really great thing was last year when we did it, when we went along on that inspection of all the playground sites, we in real time knew what was going to be an issue or a concern, and by the time the final report got to us by the insurance company, we had already rectified everything that was of concern. So that was a really great method that we're going to choose to move forward that way.
So
that-
there's no expense for us, so to certify
Correct.
somebody really doesn't make any financial.
It's provided through our services as insurance, and to have that certification, we've already spent the money to educate, and they didn't stick around. So if that's your decision to try and re-educate and endorse somebody, we can obviously look into that again and see if that's the route we want to go.
I just asked, I thought that they were doing monthly inspections, so I thought maybe it was certified.
And don't we have some equipment that's gonna age out this year?
So I found on our last year's inspection was the town grounds. And it was reported that we should be thinking of a replacement plan. I did provide several quotes to you at that time of what we want to do or move forward with it. Once we get the inspection, which looks like with the inspector, he's still trying to final schedule with us, looks like this will be more like a late August inspection for us. The first inspector went on to another position, so the new inspector is double scheduling with us now. And we may find that we might have a little bit more longevity with the maintenance and everyday care that we're trying to, but we definitely, that needs to be on our radar as it was
So
put
we
out
don't have to
last
drop
year.
dead though, we potentially could cobble the thing together a little bit longer maybe.
Possibly with some money, and, possibly maybe we just leave the swing set bay if that looks good right now, and we don't
Very good.
invest into the next piece of equipment.
But that's the next.
That's the
spot.
next one that's to age out, yeah. Mhm.
And then most of the other stuff's in pretty good shape, right, we're pretty safe on.
Your Hanover Park equipment is sitting there in that age range as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, that would be probably the next, unless an unforeseeable event or act of nature would take something out.
Okay. Anything else from town council? I think you've shared quite a bit, but.
No, like I said, I'm extending the invitation if you guys want to get together again. Anything we can do to support you guys, kind of clear up things, and
Mhm.
we're here to support you guys.
I think it'd be good to at least on a semi-annual basis to do that. So I think we had our last group session, I don't know, in February, yeah.
Okay.
So I think we're probably getting to the time, maybe in the next month or so, where we can get together again.
I will work on that. From a citizen perspective, I never got an opportunity to thank you guys for the work you guys did in Cedar Crest at the park. That's where I live, and that's just a little gem in there. It's our little horseshoe, it's almost like our own little, campground, but it's just, the kids and my wife and neighborhood kids use the heck out of it, and we even get people from outside of our neighborhood that are there we meet, so it looks good, and we thank you all for it.
They're happy with the stairs versus the ladders?
Yeah,
Okay.
much safer, so that's all I've got, Mr. President.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I heard from a couple people that live in Lindsay, and I know the pet police station was not the best idea you guys wanted, but they love it. You put that pet police station in, I got pictures of my wall, and people were sending me pictures saying, we got a police station.
That was their second way station.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, the new one, there were some good pictures of it.
Yeah.
They made them happy, that's all. Plus, it's really nice to see those parking blocks out there. I don't know who installed those in the parking lot out there.
Oh, Public Works. took
They
care of
are
that.
beautiful, those things are pretty beat up, and now they're really
Yeah,
nice.
it looks nice.
All right, that's it.
I think there's also a lot of good word on the street about the two parks that we just put the building.
The shelters,
Yeah, the
yeah.
shelters seem like people are really kind of excited, they're just impressed that there's some, something big, Obviously, the guys are doing a great job maintaining everything, but it's nice to be able to throw something out there that, has a little pop to it.
Yes.
So, good work.
Glad to make you happy and proud. We're trying.
Okay, Park Foundation?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, board meeting was held July 15th. Summerfest Bingo was a financial success for us. We did very well. We further discussed regarding the Fall Festival, September 27th. And we did send our request to the town council to waive the fee to use the town ground, and they did approve it, so it was waived. We sent a request to Culver's for a fundraiser, submitted paperwork for a gaming license, and it's only for that one day for the 27th. Plastic hat project is going well, and we're gonna purchase and sell Cedar Lake merchandise like T-shirts, a couple other items. And also, the chamber's also selling it for us as well. We requested a table from the town to sell merchandise at the farmer's market, and Ben told me to ask Kelly he did talk to Kelly, and we do have a table, it's just I have to ask her where we're gonna be. And our next meeting is August 4th, 4:30 at the library. Okay. Any questions?
Do you have more keychains ordered?
Yes, we do. Those,
I thought those were awesome.
they just sold so fast.
Yeah.
How many do you want to buy?
You want the T-shirt too?
I'm gonna give you four or five, put me down for 4 or 5.
All right.
Stocking stuffing.
There you go.
I think something, just for Park Foundation, I think something that would be good to think about as a easy type of fundraiser might be for the memorial bricks around the gazebo. That area, I mean, is that area somewhere where that's feasible to have a memorial brick?
We already have, like, established a memorial brick
Yeah.
walk right by the old gazebo
Yeah.
site. And that was one of the suggestions I had made to the foundation for, opportunity as fundraisers, is to reincorporate that. There's, I have a vendor that you could, look at to try to make it happen, and, we've had a couple people ask, now that we've improved the site where the gazebo was at, are we going to reincorporate the memorial brick program? So,
Where would that be located though?
It's right there by
We already
St.
have some already around there.
yeah, there's lots of empty spaces left over there, so.
Just fill in the grass area. or
Well, I mean,
area.
the brick is established, but what we do is when a brick sells, we just put it into the patio.
Oh,
of it.
it's
So
just
there's
being
many,
incorporated
yeah,
already
there's many more
into the structure.
spaces.
Okay.
And when I've ran them in the past in other communities, we work with the vendor that we take our bricks to, we place the order, and then when we go pick up the bricks, we just pop them in there. So they're using the existing bricks that are from the patio for us. So it could be fairly lucrative as a fundraiser opportunity, because the product is here.
I was just wondering where you were planning on putting them.
Yeah, in the existing patio that's already there, yeah. It's not full yet, you can put a couple hundred more bricks through there.
Okay. That's all I had. There's no written communication. It's now open up for public comment.
Well, on that line, I have a question on trees. Do we have to replace the trees in the park and up in here? Do we have anything in the budget for tree replacement at this point? Because I don't know line item for 2025. Would that be considered capital outlays, or did anything get budgeted in 2025 for tree replacement?
She has her hand raised.
Well, that's what I say. Along the
We
line.
did encumber funds, and we encumbered funds from last year's budget to purchase trees. They are not earmarked specifically for the town ground site, but they were for the park system. And
How much was that?
I would have to get back to you on that, I can't recall. I encumbered those in November of last year. But that money is sitting there to work with Leo's, and Leo said that we wouldn't even begin starting to talk about what is going where until September, because it would be an October planting. But there is a lump sum of money that was retained from last year, and I can get you that
So when you
information.
say last year, you're talking about 2024, and it got moved into the 2025 budget? then?
Absolutely, that's how we
And what
encumbered
line item
It was,
is that?
it was encumbered, so I don't think
Yeah.
that appears in the 2025 budget though,
Well,
right?
it still would have to be in a line item somewhere. Where's that? Because you've got encumbered to date, unencumbered balance. What line item?
So
is
it's
that?
sitting, that would be also on, it was probably a 449. It was probably a
Okay,
capital,
outlay, that's
it was
what I
probably a
wondering.
capital purchase, but I can confirm that for you at
Okay,
a
so
later
if
date.
that's the case, are we at a point, now we're in August, are we at a point where we could just start phasing that in if people want to? I mean, if you were talking about a memorial tree type of thing,
for some of these?
So if the foundation wants to start a memorial program, that's perfectly fine. That is totally opposite of the funds that were incorporated for this tree
Okay, so these
purchase.
would just be
These are just
outright
amenity
purchases.
enhancements that the
Okay.
previous board had chose to put into park spaces.
Okay.
But I would be more than willing to sit down with you and show you how I could help you figure out how to
Well,
establish
it
a
might be
memorial.
for other areas, but if we've got the money already for 2024, we're now into August of 2025, and generally you do plant trees either early in the spring or in the fall. So at this point, if you have money in for the trees, can we get something going for that, or is it too late and it'll have to be moved to next year then?
If you're talking a memorial tree program?
No,
Okay, oh, just trees on top ground.
I think we need to
I think
identify
that's gonna be-
where the trees,
Yeah.
how many we're getting from what we encumbered last year and where we wanna put those. I
Yeah,
think
where
number
was the
one, we need
idea
to.
that you're gonna put that?
There were several park spaces that they were gonna go into, so, Cedar Crest was one of them, if I can recall. I'd have to go back through some notes.
Kiwanis.
When I was encumbering.
Was it in the,
Lindsley Park.
Oh, yeah, yes, they are.
Town grounds.
No.
No, okay, well, how would I know?
Yeah.
Town grounds. Well, I was gonna say town grounds, that's where a lot of people walk, and
Yeah, that's where we need some.
that's where we need
We
some.
got rid of quite a few on here, so.
Yeah, a couple,
Nice
2 or
to
3.
come back.
Yeah, so I think, in
is
combination.
that possible to
Yeah, no,
do this year?
it definitely, yeah, it definitely is. I think
I don't know
we're,
how much was slated, but you figure you're is Leo's, going to plant them too?
Mhm.
So you figure if you can get them on sale in the fall, you usually can, and you get a 15-foot tree, I mean, it could be anywhere, $200 to $400, $500, and then you have to pay for, planting, I would assume.
We're locked and loaded with a certain amount and a certain spec of tree with, Leo's from last year's encumbrance. So in order for me to encumber funds, I have to provide an estimate from the company to be able to bring
From
those
Leo's.
monies forward. So we worked with Leo's and we came up with the estimate, and, I'll be able to provide you the amounts.
Okay.
Um,
Well, it depends on what they have in stock too in the fall.
yeah, but they already kind of have earmarked that we're getting this many, and they
Okay.
were mostly shade trees, too.
So if we could start putting, I mean, I'm not saying you have to spend everything, but if you have some from last year, why not start now, because we're getting into that season? And if
And I-
you're gonna plant it,
yeah, and the board's
Go.
the board, I guess, over the next month or so, we're gonna be looking at what we have left in the budget, end of year purchases. Last year, that was a priority, and we did, we made that decision.
Mhm.
And I think that will probably, be a point of
okay, because
discussion.
I mean, you're coming up to the
Mhm.
season, I mean, you
Yeah.
can't really go past October,
Mhm.
it's the middle of October, you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of the town grounds, this one I'm gonna ask you, because I asked Josh and he didn't know. I called Public Works because when PGX, went through and dug the hole, it was very dry out, and when they put that line through from the main, everything was nice and graded, then we got the 2 inches of rain, we had freaking sinkholes like this. I just told the guy that was riding his cart, his golf cart in there, I said, watch out where you're going. I don't know how Josh and his crew are gonna even, mow over there, because they sink into the.
Relax, we'll fill it in, it's part of the process, that's just, you have to let Mother Nature do its thing, or you're gonna, we can fill it in once a week for the next 3 months.
Well, it's been.
But it does, we will get it filled in again, and
I'm
probably,
just afraid somebody's gonna,
oh yeah, and that hole's 5 foot deep in there.
Yes,
so
it is.
It's
And
going
it
to
was
be,
like a little, pond there after the 2-inch rain.
this is part of the process.
Okay, but how do you keep people from not hurting themselves on town property then? If you have sinkholes that are.
Josh could put up a couple flags along there, a little caution
Something
tape.
to let them know, yeah. It wasn't just like.
It's just a little
Right.
hole, it's not that big.
Okay, lastly, I want to thank you and your staff, you particularly, for putting together all the landscaping in there. And you got plants that will last, that have minimal maintenance once they get established. It looks very nice, in the old gazebo ground and also at the new gazebo, so,
Thank you.
yeah, you did good work.
Thank you.
Yep. Plus, we had the right guy for the job.
Mhm.
Maurice Marr, 16318 Moore Street. I just want to know how do I get to be first on the list to be picked, like for the Hill Tavern? Like I saw Bugaboos again get picked for the event on the 13th. And nobody else gets around town gets to have a chance at it, it's just Bugaboos gets to go at it.
They were selected for this event because it was a first-time event, and they've hosted similar type events in the past, like Fireman's Ball and the other Labor Day Festival that's similar to this event.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were picked just because it's a first-time event. We don't know what the turnout's gonna be and what the crowd's gonna look like. So we know that they've done it in the past, that they were selected. If this turns out to be a hit next year, then we would probably look, you know.
Probably, or will open it to.
Not sure. We don't know if we'll even do it again, so
Okay.
we have to see if this event works out. You know, we're just trying to see new events and how they work and, you know, if they'll work. And
Okay, same thing with the bands, there's bands from Cedar Lake, and we've hit them up asking them for donation, and they're like, screw you, you know?
Mhm.
You know, we're not even chosen, we're not even considered, nobody asked us, so.
Okay, well, we'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Third call for public comment.
Kathy Broomhead, 14351 West 135th Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Okay. First of all, the truck you want to buy or purchase is at what, Dodge Ram over here?
Mhm.
And have you looked at that truck or only Josh?
I have looked at that truck as well.
It's brand new. Mhm.
Is anybody gonna inspect it when you buy it?
It's a brand new truck with a warranty.
I understand that, but you still inspect it when you get a new car or a truck
Mhm.
to make sure everything's right.
We trust our foreman and our,
Josh's
yeah.
deal.
And I think when you looked at the used truck, the mechanic went out there with you to look at the used truck, correct?
That's right, it was put on the list, Steve did look at it.
So they did a
called
full
us
inspection on the
issues.
used truck.
I looked underneath the blue truck, there is no rust, no issues, that's why it comes with a warranty, we're good for 3 years, anything that happens to it.
Brand new truck.
Right.
Sign deal. The sign, the digital sign,
Mhm.
do you have a diagram of that sign that she wants to put up?
I'm sure it can be
Before you
accessed.
make that,
Yeah, we're not gonna make a decision until all parties are in agreement on the, what it looks like and everything, so.
And then don't you need to make sure the sign of the size of it and color or whatever is right for the town?
Yeah,
Or
and
is it
that
up to
was,
you?
that was discussed with town manager and I believe
The director of
Mr.
operations.
Kubiak on sign to fit the theme of town grounds. And I have seen it, and it kind of matches the theme of
New building.
the new building out front.
Okay. How long has the playground on this town grounds been there?
We can only estimate because those records weren't provided to me, but we're believing it's over 23 years old.
It's older than that. It's been out here since, longer than 85 and it's been there.
There's two sections there or just one? Two.
Well, there's the
playgrounds or
swing,
just
there's
one?
the swing bay and then the playground area.
And are you gonna move that area, swing set to the, you don't have no,
We don't have a
plan?
specific plan.
Yeah, I think there's been, I think Mindy's talked about, hey, there's lots of options, but I don't think we've gotten anywhere near.
Personally, I'd like it to be moved on to the other side of the parking lot, away from the street.
So you have more parking?
Or, yeah, I think the park would just be better on the more interior, the grounds near the soccer field and things.
To keep the kids further
but-
away from the street.
Right.
I think that's kind of what we
Right.
thought would be a better.
Mhm.
And are you gonna fence in the, town grounds if you're gonna have that playground over there? So it ain't by the parking lot and then the playground, you know what I'm saying? Like, if people,
I don't think we've gotten to that.
Yeah,
point.
okay, I'm just
Yeah.
throwing it out there.
I think it's just so far down the road
Yeah.
from, because the price of the equipment is incredible.
Mhm.
So I think that we haven't gotten past that,
But there's grants for that too.
Mhm.
For
Right,
that,
right.
yeah. What else? Let's see, what else did I have down here? I think that's it. and I had a great time Wednesday. Thank you guys.
Thanks for joining us, Kathy.
Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Public comments now closed. There's nobody online. Okay. So now I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Brannon,
I'll second the motion.
second by Mr. Jostis. Meeting is now adjourned. Next meeting is September 4th at 5:30 PM. We'll take a 5-minute break and then we'll begin our work session. We'll begin the work session at 6:45. Okay, work session is now in session. So new business, I'm sorry, we have to do a roll call on the work session.
This is the first time we're done, I don't know, it's just going by another meeting.
Well, we'll just, say that we're, work session, in order. Okay, so, item number 1 under new business is 13035 Polk Street. I think we're just discussing next steps on that property, and I think there's demolition that needs to happen and possibly a road cut in. Any further information there?
I guess that was just the questions of what you guys were anticipating. I mean, we figured it'd be smart to go ahead and cut a road in there, or drive, or something. I mean, that property's only 35 feet wide. I did get a chance to look over there, and it just has a jet pump for the well, so the well's probably not worth saving. I don't know where.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
Just has a little 2-inch jet pump, a new one, but I don't know if we're gonna be able to find where that, you know, most of the time when you have those, they go underground somewhere.
There's somewhere.
Don't know what that's gonna be, what that situation's gonna be like, but probably won't have a well when you're done. There is gonna be, you know, obviously there's a sewer tap there and a sewer line. Don't know if you guys think that you may wanna put a bathroom in that Potawatomi someday or not. Obviously, you can dig through the parking lot later and run the sewer line back, or we can run the sewer line through, you know, at least through the property to get it to the part of the property now for, you know, not a huge amount of money, obviously, so. Just something to kind of think about. I mean, you could always dig back through it again, obviously, and put it in the sewer line later, but we could always extend it at least to the back of the lot for now and have it there at the ready. Because obviously, if you could get it to there, you have, I mean, you could pretty much put something anywhere on that park and be able to have gravity sewer to it, so, from that point, so.
But there will be fees, just so I understand this correctly, there'll be fees incurred every time that sewer tap is still active. Will be monthly fees incurred until we decide to build. And we either give, that's the whole point of.
Well, and again, you can, if you shut it off and disconnect it, there would be no monthly bill. But if you do reconnect it, then it's a $4,000 charge, so $45 a month or $55 a month takes quite a while to.
I think
It depends on the time.
I think the amount of time it would take us to be in a position to put a bathroom there, I don't know if my kids will be alive at that point. I know I'll be gone. Because I think there's some other spots that we probably would do something like that first.
Yeah, the bathrooms are the bathroom's a great idea, but it's a maintenance nightmare.
Maintenance and vandalism and upkeep and, yeah. I think the committee has kind of tuned us up on that and made a point that the porta potties that are well maintained, are a decent option versus the expense of, something else. So I have no problem with you guys capping it. That's my.
Yeah, because that's the only thing that we would use that sewer line for, is just a bathroom,
Right,
there's nothing else,
And we'd have to have a well anyway, right? Then we'd have to drill a well there too.
Yeah, you would need water.
Unless there's.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping, the other well wouldn't last. Just for a water source, but if you're saying, no, okay.
It doesn't seem like it's going to be, but I don't, until I dig it up and actually see what's there, it looks to me like that is all that's there, which didn't look good, but I don't know for 100%, but. So obviously we can take the house down. I mean, we have thousands of loads of millings at the Public Works, so we can put in that for base like we did at Kiwanis and here, so that stuff's free. It's kind of silly not to take advantage of that and get something in, so. I don't know how wide, if you guys want to make that 35 feet wide and put some parking on that, or you want to just put a road through there with some green space, or,
So the lot itself is 35
yeah.
35 feet, how deep is it, is it like 50?
I don't know, but it's probably somewhere around 100 feet.
Oh, it's 100 feet, okay.
So if you did do the entire 35-foot width, you should be able to have a drive lane and some angled parking, down one side, which is kind of cool,
Yeah, no, that was my vision of that spot, is to get a couple parking spots down there, yeah.
And then you can put a couple of blocks at the end of the road for now to keep people from driving clear out into the
Yeah,
park.
'cause nobody can park on the street there, and so I think.
We can't even.
No, exactly.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
It would be wonderful to get up 2 parking spots. even 4 if possible.
Is this something that you'd like to see as an asphalt, so we can get some quotes prepared for you? Asphalt drive and parking spaces, or can we even stay with millings? Is there code violations to have?
Easements, you know, for the neighbors and, you know. you
Well,
can have it
it's
condemned.
gravel too. Is there code violations for having gravel
Well,
driveways?
maybe for putting a parking spot on it.
I mean, we've done it in the past for a couple of years while we kind of start with that and then we, you know, get it to finish, so. We did it with Kiwanis, we did it here. I mean, it's just, you know, I mean, you kind of do it as you can get the money to do it, but I would recommend getting the base in there and not trying to pave it instantly because you want to make sure that you establish a, you know, a positive, what you want for it, for it done before you do it, obviously. So that's kind of, I mean, Kiwanis, we ended up making it a little bigger and adding some spaces after we've seen, you know, what was going to happen there before we paved it, which if we would have done it originally, it would have been nowhere near what it is now. So I kind of feel like, you know, just to get that part established is probably a good enough for now.
I agree, because I think we need to come up with like a future vision of what that's gonna look, are we gonna put nice, you know?
That whole park.
Yeah.
Well, we do want to get rid of the building, you know.
Yeah, it's gonna be huge to be able to pull your car in down there and see what you got instead of from the top of the hill. It's gonna be a whole different.
Correct.
Yeah, give a lot of people more access, yeah.
What's the structure there? Is it a crawl space or anything, or there's not really?
Yeah, it's just crawl space.
Is there much to fill, or is it just a real shallow crawl?
No, it's just, I honestly think it's just some piers and some, I don't even think it's a full crawl space.
Oh, wow, okay, so we don't have to come up with tons of fill, I mean, it's.
We're gonna fill it with millings.
They got it for free.
I was told that was the oldest house in Meyer Manor.
It used to be,
Yeah.
I don't think it is. Who told you that?
Somebody that lives over there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, by looking through there, I wouldn't guess that, but anything's possible.
I drove past it and I couldn't even make a guess of anything looking at it.
So.
It looked like it went from lot line to lot line. I was like, I can't even see the backyard to see, you know, what it looks like, at that spot.
Yeah, it's, like I said, somebody they completely remodeled it with no permit, so inside of it doesn't look that terrible, but it's not that good underneath, so.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, so,
So let's get it tore down, cap off the sewer,
gravel.
make sure if the well is got any chance of producing water, we won't do anything with it, but if it does, I don't think it's going to, but if it is something that we could salvage and get some water, we'll keep it.
Perfect. That's all we could ask. That is perfect.
Go from there.
Yep. Good enough for me. Anything else for Mr. Kubiak while we have him on this topic?
Can I bring up another property?
Shades? Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
Oh.
So, and I think you may have already had a conversation with Doug, Officer Doug, about that property in Shades that the town owns. There's a lot that subdivision would like to turn into a park. And it's got a lot of growth, but not a lot
When you
of.
say the shades, you gotta be more specific, because there's shades, you
Shades
can
all
get
over.
pictures of the whole east side.
Well, I thought maybe he had a conversation, that's why I thought maybe you knew. So it's
134th, the road down past,
Oh, in Bell
by
there?
Ambet.
It's almost right across.
Okay, I know where, I didn't think it was done, but I know where you're talking about.
Yeah.
134th and Bow.
Yeah, so I guess there's a lot there that we own, it's got two small structures on it, but, you know, they came to us and said, hey, you know, there's 100 homes in Shades roughly, and there's no parks anywhere nearby for the kids. Town owns this piece of property, you know, could we turn it into a park? And, you know, obviously we have not had a lot of time to talk about it, but is that something that the town, that you guys could clear, like a lot like that, and then maybe our guys could just seed it the first year, and maybe we could add some stuff as time went by, is that?
Yeah, the grade of that place is a little, I think that house that's next door kind of comes all the way up to the property line. There's a couple big trees, there's a lot of poison ivy, but, yeah, it wasn't like a nice flat, I mean, it was semi-okay, but.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the middle of the, well, I think there were some houses there at the town.
Yeah, something got tore down.
Yeah,
It's
because
got
the middle's pretty empty, but the perimeter is where it's a little hairy.
Yeah, it needs a little TLC for sure, but.
Poison ivy, no. not in Cedar Lake.
Would we have to formally ask the town to, establish that as a park space before we could take that into our inventory and consideration?
Well, I was just asking if that's something that they could do, because obviously if we have to incur a bunch of expense to clear the lot, if we're paying $17,500 for somebody to come clear that lot, that's a non-starter. That's why I wanted to know from Tim if that's something that, you know.
Mindy, did you ever see her with a chainsaw and a chipper? It's
I
impressive.
think she'll probably do it.
It's impressive.
Just poking fun at me here.
Yeah, we can check it out. I don't know how many, I mean, like I said, depending on situation, I mean, obviously anything can be done if we have some time to get it cleared up and do it. I mean, we've honestly been trying to clear up some of the stuff on the east side and those old right-of-ways and trees falling in people's backyards and stuff that's been overgrown and not taken care of for the last 100 years, you know, and there's big ass shit falling in people's pools and there's a lot, you know, so we've been tackling a lot of it, so a couple more isn't gonna hurt.
I do want to ask about the tree that there was somebody called about that's on that property, maybe entwined in the fence at Polk Street property, and they asked because it was maybe leaning towards.
It was
the
entwined, let me drink.
Oh, the Yukon tree?
Yeah, the tree on the property of the guy who also bought a rebuild, or a rehab home.
That's two houses to the south of,
The tree that was in question when he had just had a conversation with the crew, like, hey, I'm doing some tree work, this is all tangled up in my fence line, anyway, I can take it down, and I said, you're gonna have to, I went and got the coordinates of it, it very much sits in the park property. He was able to trim from the fence line up, the property line up, and I said if any other considerations were to be made about the impact or the removal of that tree, it would have to come before you guys as park board to say, like, we're cool with him removing the tree.
Did he say it was entwined in the fence or something?
Yeah, it was impacting his fence and,
His fence, okay.
yeah. And
it's on the line, it's not the greatest tree. Yeah.
But, I mean, is he gonna come and, I mean, does he have to come?
he said he would not be able to make it to the August meeting, so he was, I did share with him that, when we meet.
No, I submit for written communication
Yeah.
directly to us
Asking
for a
that.
request.
Yeah, that, or I said attend the September meeting.
Okay.
For consideration of the board.
Okay. Anything else on this one? All right. And I guess, we have park rules on the agenda. Mr. Kubiak, if you want to say.
I do not want to go
Okay,
to
no,
park
yeah.
rules. You are correct. All right, guys, have a good night.
Thank you thanks for coming, appreciate it.
Me?
All right, yeah.
So as we're growing, as more activities happen, we're identifying new rules that need to be established and updated, to enforce some of the things that we're seeing happen. So, 2 superintendent reports ago, I asked about proposing revisions to park rules, and I identified a few of them in there that I thought would be of, opportunity to review and discuss. Obviously, they would have to be adopted in a park board meeting. We're in a work session today, but I wanted to just put them on your radar, and have some discussion about them. One being is the one that's on my radar as far as concern is the Bartlett Wahlberg shelter. It's about ready to open. It is going to be an amenity shelter in that park space, meaning that we're not renting it to anybody. We're already getting inquiries in office how people can rent that space. And essentially what I believe is going to happen is you're going to see a lot of pop-up parties over there and people just using it as they need and they want. And so my question to the park board, would you consider putting a patron limit in park spaces, especially pertaining to shelters? 10, 15, 20 people with a rule stating that only 10 to 15 people can gather without a permit or a special event permit. I just feel it's going to be very hard for the police to enforce when there's a 40-person party happening at that park space and the public can't access the park because of all the parking. That's why we chose not to use it as a rental facility. was all the parking spaces would be utilized from the party goers, and the public would still not have the ability to come into that park space and utilize the park space. So, that was one of the rules that was up and coming as we're getting ready to get the final grade done and get that open, and I foresee that going to be an issue as we're getting inquiries about how do they rent that space out. It's not even one of our facility rental spaces or on our radar to rent it. Another rule that I would like to bring before you is it's been unsaid, but there's no boat trailer parking here at town grounds. But we're seeing boat trailers, and 3 and 4 of them on weekends here. That's happening because public access is getting filled up, and they're dropping they're launching their boats at public access. They found an empty lot to park, and then they're just getting, the people are getting picked up here at the public pier and getting on the lake for the day. We're not equipped for trailer parking here on town grounds. I literally could have bought a sign that said no trailer parking and posted it out there. But I think the proper thing to do is to adopt a rule so it's enforceable. And so, we're just not equipped for boat trailers. And
So
we're
they're
seeing
dropping their trailers here and leaving them?
trucks and trailers and getting on the lake for the day.
So
Oh,
they're just getting picked up on the pier.
Oh, they're getting,
Oh,
yeah.
so they're leaving their truck with their trailer behind it and parking here?
Yes. So that was another rule that maybe you would like to establish for the grounds as far as the parking. I could foresee that being an issue if there was town events or events rented here on grounds and all the parking spots, two and 3 parking spots are taken by a boat and a trailer, and you don't have enough parking for the event that was rented here or happening here on the grounds. Another rule for that was the after-hour use of the park. So we have this rule established that parks are open dawn to dusk, but what we're finding, people are here all hours of the night, especially on town grounds, especially utilizing the beach, especially using our restroom facilities. And it's really resulting in some maintenance issues that are happening for us because what we're finding from the after-hours events that are happening. Really, we don't have to establish a rule on it, but I wanted to touch on it because I did ask for extra patrols of the lakefront parks in the summer months to enforce this dawn to dusk rule, that park spaces, unless by event permit, are not to be permitted in access after dusk. That's just already in the established rules. That's something that needs to be revisited. That was just some old rules from many years ago. But I have asked for the extra watches just to try to discourage the patron use of after-grounds use or after-hours use. And then the public art piece. We've had concerns. There's climbing. There's misuse of the public art piece. It's been suggested that we place some rule signs over there. I can't really enforce a rule until the park board establishes a rule. So I can't post a sign there if I don't have an established rule to enforce it. If that's something that you would like to see, but I also believe we'll be, the sign being placed there may open other doors of concern, like we're stating that you may get hurt or there may be danger there. And so that also may need to be looked into before we do signage or rules about it.
Because then it looks like
We're aware that
it could result, yeah.
So those are the items I was bringing
Well,
up.
I think we need to figure out the rules first, and then signs, come after the rules are established.
And this is why I came before you in work sessions, just to try to get your wheels turning on things that I'm identifying and hearing back and seeing, and to give you the chance to put the thinking caps on and say, are these rules that we want to establish and change? And I can meet subcommittees with you and bring it, then before the next park board meeting for action.
Yeah,
It's something that's gonna have to be addressed.
the intention of at least Bartlett Bulwark specific, especially is, I don't think people should be throwing huge parties there, commandeering the whole shelter.
The only thing I would say about that one park in particular, as far as hours goes, is some people fish.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too, same way with over at the, Sue Lansky area
Yeah.
up there on that pier.
Yeah,
They
so maybe
fish
there
at
would have
night.
to be, why couldn't we have different rules for different parks? If it's an off-site park that's isolated, there's nothing there to be there at night to do. But these two parks, or this park, you know, there's something that,
You could set for specific area, like if you have a skate park in one of your neighborhood parks, you would want to say dawn to dusk, because those neighbors don't want to hear that, or a basketball court, or a pickleball court. You want to be able to shut it down to be, you know, respectful to the neighbors, to that amenity. So, there is the opportunity but if you say to fishing, and they go out there, they're out there and they're not fishing, how does the police enforce that if the rules of the parks are dawn to dusk? That one's gonna get tricky. With the fishing at the lakefront parks.
Well, I hate to see, you know, people that come there to fish, and there's fishermen there all the time.
yeah, there is.
And I
Or maybe it's one place that could be patrolled very easily, that is identified as your
location,
fishing
yeah.
place. That could be, that's a
Yeah.
suggestion, yeah.
Okay, so so I know we've done this in the past where we've, you know, updated park rules. We just have to amend the ordinance.
It was adopted by resolution.
So by
So park
resolution.
board resolution.
Okay, so we can just amend the resolution as we need to.
Yeah,
So between now and the September meeting, if we can get a few of those on paper, identified and on paper, and then it can be amended by resolution at the next meeting.
And I also wanted to mention about the people that come and bring their trucks and trailers after they launch their boat. I mean, there's like 15 spots over there at the boat launch. There's a lot of people that live in town that have boats that don't live on the lake. And for them to be able to, you know, you said you're seeing 3 or 4 of them in the parking lot. I'd say that, you know, I don't have a problem with, you know, people doing that on the weekends. If the facility's rented, there should be people instructing them where to park, and no, you can't come in here with that, you know, that they would have control over who was parking here and who wasn't. You know, sometimes, you know, like people coming down and gathering at the beach. I've seen a family down here with, you know, 50 people at the beach, and how are you gonna restrict them from, you know, gathering with their people? You know, and make them get a permit to come bring their kids down swimming, you know, their sister and her kids and, you know, their neighbor and their kids come down, and all of a sudden you got a big group of people that live here and are enjoying the lake, and you wanna, you know, have them have a special permit to gather in a, you know, in a public space. Understand for the shelter out here, you know.
That's specifically what I was.
If you're going
Yeah, just for shelters,
Yeah, I hear
yeah.
your concern with that as well. It was just for shelters, so, yeah, let me clarify that. It was not for park spaces. It was to discourage the 50-person party, pop-up party in a shelter space.
Yeah, it would be hard for 50 people to gather under the shelter out there anyway.
This one is a 50 limit occupancy right back here.
Really?
Yeah.
This is pretty big.
But the Bartlett one, that's why we decided
We
that
have
that
family
wasn't gonna be a
reunions in there,
rental.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you get to spill out a little bit.
Mhm.
You get to be outside of it a little bit too, but
Yeah.
that's covered thing.
I have a question. Isn't it, no alcohol on park property too?
That's already
Established.
established,
Right,
right?
because how many times do they come over from the lighthouse with, they're just standing there with their beer glasses?
Yeah. I mean, the police are the enforcers of that, so,
Good.
yeah.
And I think, Mindy, you even went to the lighthouse and talked to them about that and tried to get them to help us do a little of the policing there so that people don't be there with it, so.
Absolutely, I did. I sat down with them and asked for some assistance with that, and then we identified that a lot of our patrons were utilizing lighthouse parking spaces, and that we could come up with some proper signage to assist with keeping them
Just on
up.
the Admirals, on the 11th, campus takes over here.
Yeah, so new owners,
So
maybe
the
another
new owners, I think you
conversation.
might be able to have them because they're established, local, not corporate, that they might go along with you guys a lot better and work with us.
Okay, so, I mean, before the next meeting, you know, if we propose something for, you know, patron limits in the shelters, I mean, I don't know,
You hate to do it.
It's more like an hour limit than a pay, you know, it's more like
Yeah.
hours that are limited. versus
I guess the intention, the intention of Bartlett Wahlberg Park is, we're not renting it. You don't want, you don't want like a party setting up over there and kind of, making it a private party when it's just an open shelter.
Okay, and like over at Kiwanis, you're going to, rent that out. How are you going to reserve it? How are you going to keep other, park goers from being in that park or in that space?
Good question. And just as we do here at this space, there is a sign that is posted on the shelter, so every time that it's rented, it says this shelter space is rented for the day. Our
Okay.
patrons, when they do rent, if they show up and there is a party going on, that they aren't the permitted party, they are to contact the police department and we'll work it out, that this party needs to leave because this party is the paying patron. But we do post with signage.
Okay, I
it's
didn't know.
rented.
Okay. Any other discussion on park rules? Yeah, I think,
It's gonna be a starting point.
yeah, and it might not be something that is voted on at the September meeting, but these are some things that we just need to think about. And maybe, I think we're gonna try and get our subcommittee between now and hopefully between now and September, and we can discuss those, and then if there's something that we wanna change, we can propose it and bring it to the next public meeting and discuss it then. Okay. I guess, do we have public comment for a work session
On agenda items only.
on agenda items only?
I don't have a comment. Where do I find the park master plan? Because I've gone online, I can't find it.
It's there, there's a separate tab, I think we can print it if you need access to a printed copy.
I can't, it's like a 270 page document.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, yeah. We
I
don't print it.
I can't print it, but I do have one in office, that if you're willing to
Yeah,
come in and
20
look at it while in office, but it is digitally and it is on our website under the Parks Department's page.
Okay, so I go to the park department and then where?
So you go to the Parks Department page and then there's a drop down, and that drop down will say Parks Master Plan. If you click on that, it will automatically upload that for you to view.
Okay.
I think Cliff is gonna show you right now.
Oh,
I think you're getting a,
get the demonstration real time.
I think I'm gonna remember. Just watch.
right there in the blue screen,
Okay.
this will be where the master
All
plan is
right,
located.
thank you.
Okay, any other public comment on agenda items only? Work session is adjourned.